Welcome to the archive. Stop for a second and look at your hands. I mean, really look at them, don't just glance. Study the landscape of your own skin, the lines that tell a story you can no longer read. Do you see that subtle rhythmic trembling? That vibration that seems to come from deep inside your marrow as if your bones are trying to shake themselves loose. It's not the morning chill creeping through the jagged cracks of this abandoned tenement, though the air is sharp enough to cut. And it's not just the fear of what comes next, though God knows you should be absolutely terrified by now, paralyzed by the sheer crushing weight of your own existence. No, that is the sound of your soul's battery hitting absolute zero. It's the final desperate vibration of a machine that has run out of fuel, out of oil, out of purpose, but is forced to keep spinning by the sheer brutal momentum of its own decay. You are a biological engine running on fumes and the bitter recycled memories of a life that no longer belongs to you. It's like watching a movie of someone else's vacation, vivid, beautiful, but completely untouchable. You used to be someone, didn't you? You can almost see him if you squint hard enough into the thick, suffocating fog of your mind. He's standing there, just out of reach, blurred around the edges like an old photograph left in the sun. A father who tucked his kids in at night and felt the warmth of their breath on his cheek, a sensation that used to mean safety. A sensation that used to be the center of your universe. A nurse who actually cared if the patient lived or died, who felt the frantic heavy weight of a beating heart under his palm and thought he could save the world one bandage at a time. A taxpayer with a decent credit score, a lawn that needed mowing every Saturday morning, and a favorite seat at the local diner where people knew your name, your coffee order, and exactly how you liked your eggs. You had a place in the machine. You were a gear that fit perfectly. Now you're just a subject. You are subject number 4022, a 170-pound vessel of meat bone and agonizing regret, navigating a gray, rotting world where the only color that still has the power to move your stagnant blood is the neon glow of a blue pill or the sickly synthetic amber of a discarded needle lying in a puddle of stagnant rainwater. You are a ghost haunting the corridors of your own existence, a shadow that has lost the body it was supposed to follow, wandering through a city that has already forgotten you were ever here. Close your eyes for a second, if you can still stand the darkness behind your lids. Sometimes the darkness is worse because that's where the high-definition replays live. Try to remember the smell of your old office. Think about the aroma of expensive dark roast coffee steaming in a ceramic mug. The clean, sharp scent of fresh printer paper, the sterile and comforting hum of the industrial air conditioner that used to be the background noise to your mundane, predictable success. Feels like a dream, doesn't it? It feels like a movie you watched in a crowded theater a long time ago and can only half remember the plot of just fragments of dialogue and blurry faces. Because today, the only reality you know, the only truth you can actually touch with your trembling fingers, is the sour, fermented stench of Kensington Avenue. It's the smell of wet trash baking in the afternoon sun, the acrid, choking smoke of burning plastic in a trash can fire, and the metallic copper tang of your own blood where you bit your lip during the night just to feel something, anything that wasn't the itch. It started so innocently, didn't it? That's the lie they always tell. That's the opening line of every tragedy in the archive. Just a back injury, a heavy lift at work, a split second of overconfidence, a sharp, sickening pop in your spine, and a moment of white-hot pain that made the world go black and silent for a heartbeat. The doctor had such a kind, professional face. He smelled like peppermint and expensive soap. He smiled as he scribbled on that crisp, white pad, his pen moving with the effortless grace of a man who genuinely thought he was helping you get back on your feet. He handed you that prescription like it was a gift from God, a miracle in a small plastic bottle. He forgot to mention that he was actually handing you a golden one-way ticket to the absolute basement of hell. He didn't tell you that the relief he promised, that warm wave of artificial comfort, would eventually become the jagged cage you could never leave. A prison where the bars are made of molecules and the warden is your own hijacked nervous system, demanding payment in full every single hour of the day. Look across the street to the thick grime on the window. See that man standing there? He's leaning forward at a perfect 45-degree angle, completely frozen in a chemical trance, his chin nearly touching his chest. He's defying the laws of physics, a human statue made of denim, despair, and dirty sneakers that haven't been untied in weeks. In 10 minutes, that's gonna be you. You'll be the human question mark leaning into the wind, asking a world that doesn't care why you're still drawing breath in its oxygen. People walk past you like you're just another part of the urban architecture. A broken hydrant, a cracked window, a pile of forgotten rags left out in the rain to rot. To the normies, are the ones with the shiny cars and the mortgages and the clean fingernails, you aren't a man anymore. You are a statistic. You are a cautionary tale whispered to children when they don't want to finish their dinner. You are a glitch in the American dream that the system is simply waiting to delete from the hard drive of society. You sold your wedding ring today, didn't you? Think about that for a moment. Feel the ghost of that gold band on your finger, the pale, protected circle of skin where it sat for a decade of promises. You walked into that pawn shop where the air was thick with the smell of old dust, stale tobacco, and the desperate trades of 1,000 other ghosts who came before you. The man behind the bulletproof glass didn't even look you in the eyes. He just looked at the gold. To him were happily ever after, your sacred vows, your decade of marriage, and the memories of your honeymoon in that little cabin by the lake. It was all worth exactly 40 minutes of artificial silence. He took your history, your loyalty, and your very name, and he gave you a tiny, bitter piece of chemical peace. Your heart is screaming, no, begging you to run back and grab it, but your veins are shouting yes, and we both know who wins that argument in the archive. You traded a lifetime of love for a few minutes of not feeling like your skin is being peeled off by invisible pliers. Your phone is vibrating in your pocket right now. It's been doing that for hours. A dull, rhythmic buzzing against your hip that feels like a hornet trying to escape a glass jar. You know exactly who it is. It's her daughter. She's at her dance recital right now, standing on a stage under bright, unforgiving lights, wearing a pink tutu that costs more than your last 3 hits combined. She's looking out into the dark, silent audience, her eyes darting from face to face, searching for the one person who promised he would be there in the front row, holding a camera and a bouquet of flowers. You want to answer. You want to press that green button and tell her you're sorry, that you're just stuck in traffic, that you'll make it up to her with ice cream and promises you won't keep, but you can't, because your voice doesn't sound like a father's voice anymore. It sounds like broken glass being ground into wet gravel by a heavy boot. It sounds like the dry, hollow rattle of a snake in a dead desert. It sounds like the archive. The buildings around you aren't just concrete and steel anymore. They're beginning to breathe. You see the bricks pulsing, expanding, and contracting like a giant, diseased lung struggling for air. You reach out to touch a wall, but your fingers sink into it as if it were made of cold, wet clay or rotting meat. Reality is losing its grip on you. Or maybe you're finally seeing the world for what it really is, a fragile, unfinished sketch that someone forgot to color in. A hollow stage set for a play that ended years ago. You see a cat crossing the street, but it moves in jerky, broken frames, like a character in a low-budget stop-motion animation. Everything is stuttering. The sound of the city is lagging behind the images. Your own thoughts are caught in a feedback loop of the same 3 questions, repeating over and over like a scratched record. Where's the money? Who has the bag? When does the pain stop? You find yourself standing in front of a 7-Eleven. The neon sign is buzzing so loudly it feels like it's trying to drill a hole directly into your forehead. A constant electric scream. Died. The lights are too bright. A sterile, surgical white that exposes every wrinkle, every scar, every ounce of filth that is accumulated on your skin like a second layer of clothing. You walk in, and the bell rings with a sound that feels like a gunshot in the silence of your mind. The cashier is a young guy, maybe 20 years old, with a name tag that says Kevin in neat printed letters. He's looking at a thick textbook, his lips moving silently as he reads about economics or history. He has a future. He has a plan. He has a life that hasn't been liquidated and sold for parts yet. You reach into your pocket and feel the cold, honest weight of the knife. It's the only thing in this room that feels real to you. The archive whispers in your ear, a voice that sounds like your own, but deeper, colder. It tells you that Kevin's future is worth exactly what you need right now to stop the spiders from biting. It tells you that the morality you're clinging to is just a luxury you can no longer afford, like a gold watch in a desert. The glass of the display case shatters, and it's the most beautiful crystalline sound you've ever heard. It's the sound of a story finally moving forward after being stuck on the same page for months. Kevin is screaming, but it sounds like a distant, irrelevant bird call from another continent. You grab the bills from the drawer, but they don't feel like money. They feel like thin, dry skin or old leaves that have been crushed underfoot. You run out into the night, and the cold air feels like shards of ice in your lungs. as sirens start their long, lonely song almost immediately, a wailing chorus that fills the empty streets. They aren't police cars, they are mechanical vultures with red and blue eyes, circling the carcass of your soul, waiting for the movement to stop. You dive into a narrow alleyway, and the shadows reach out to embrace you like an old, neglected friend who has been waiting for you to come home. You find a spot behind a rusted dumpster that smells like rotting vegetables and industrial chemicals. You prepare the dose with hands that are now moving with a terrifying mechanical precision. The needle goes in, and for one glorious, horrific moment, the entire world goes silent. The spiders stop building. The archive stops writing. The itch disappears, replaced by a warm, heavy, golden blanket of absolute nothingness. You are floating in a void where the pain can't find you, but the archive never really stops. Even as you nod off, your chin resting on your chest in the classic Kensington lean, the ink is still flowing somewhere in the dark. You find yourself in a vast, infinite library that smells like old paper and ozone. The shelves stretch up forever into a sky made of dark charcoal clouds. There are no books here, only metal drawers, millions and millions of them stacked on top of each other in impossible towers. You see a drawer with your name on it, but the name is written in a language you've never seen before, yet you understand it perfectly in your soul. It says failure. It says waste. It says subject 402. You try to walk away, to run for the exit, but your feet are made of the same dark, viscous ink as the floor. You are being drawn into the very architecture of the place, becoming part of the furniture. You see other ghosts wander in the infinite aisles, a woman in a torn, dirt-stained prom dress crying black tears, a man in a pilot's uniform with no eyes, a teenager with a backpack that's leaking shadows. They all have the same hollow, distant look. They all have the same rhythmic, internal trembling. They are your new family. They are the permanent, eternal residents of the archive, and they've been waiting for you to join the collection. You see a giant screen on the wall, and it's playing your life back to you, but it's been edited by a sadist who knows your every weakness. It skips all the good parts. It skips the birthdays, the laughter, and the moments of pride. It only shows the moments where you chose the wrong path, the moments where you let people down. It shows the first lie you ever told your wife, a small thing that grew into a mountain. It shows the moment you stole the prescription pad from the doctor's office. It shows the look of pure, heart-shattering disappointment on your daughter's face when you didn't show up for her recital, the way she looked at the empty seat and felt the first crack in her world. You try to look away, but you have no eyelids in the archive. You are a captive audience. You are forced to watch the loop over and over again, a 25-minute masterpiece of self-destruction that never ends. The ink is rising now, coming up from the floor like a black tide of oil. It reaches your knees, then your waist, pulling you down with the weight of gravity. You try to climb the metal shelves to find higher ground, but the drawers are slick and freezing to the touch. You see subject 401 in the drawer next to yours, and he's already half melted into the black liquid, his features blurring like a wet drawing. He looks at you with one remaining bloodshot eye and whispers something you can't hear with your ears, but you feel it in your bones. He's saying, "Welcome home, brother. We've been saving a spot for you." The ink reaches your chest, and you feel the immense weight of it, the absolute finality of the pressure. It's not just ink. It's the collective debt of every mistake you ever made, every promise you broke, every person you hurt. It's the weight of the wedding ring you sold and the recital you missed. It's the weight of Kevin's terror and your mother's silent, faceless grief. You realize now that the archive isn't a place you go when you die. It's a place you build while you're alive, brick by brick, lie by lie, hit by hit. You've been the architect of your own prison all along. And now the construction is finally complete. The roof is being sealed tight. The windows are being painted over with black tar. You are the only inhabitant of this palace of shadows. You look up one last time and see a small, incredibly bright light far, far above you. It's the world of the normies. It's the world of coffee, credit scores, Sunday mornings, and hope. It looks so small from down here. It looks like a star that's about to go out in the middle of a storm. You reach for it, but your arm is now just a streak of black charcoal against a gray background. You are being flattened. You are becoming two-dimensional, a drawing on a page that's about to be turned. The animator is finishing the final frame of your story. You can feel the scratch of the pen against your skin. He's using a heavy, messy brush to draw the deep, dark shadows under your eyes. He's adding the grimy, realistic textures to your stolen jacket. He's making sure the leaning angle of your body is exactly 45 degrees, the perfect posture of the defeated. He puts down the pen, stretches his tired back, and sighs. He's exhausted. He has 400 other subjects just like you to draw before the sun comes up. He hits the save button on his computer, and for you, the world simply stops. The animation pauses. There is no more itch. There is no more hunger. There is no more pain. There is only the static. There is only the static. There is only the archive. Suddenly, you wake up on the hard sidewalk in Kensington. The sun is hitting your face, but it doesn't feel warm. It feels like a harsh, interrogating spotlight. You look at your hands. The trembling is gone for now, replaced by a cold, heavy stillness that feels like stone. You see the 7-Eleven across the street. The broken glass is already being replaced. Kevin isn't there. There's someone else behind the counter now. You feel the knife in your pocket, and it feels like a natural part of your own body. You check your phone. The battery's at exactly 1%. You have one missed message from your wife. You don't open it. You know exactly what it says. You know it's the last thread connecting you to the world of the living, and you're about to cut it with a blunt pair of scissors. You stand up, and the world tilts violently. Gravity pulls at your shoulders, trying to turn you into a human question mark again. You fight it for a split second, a final spark of rebellion. Then you give in. It's easier this way. It's easier to let the archive take the lead. You start moving toward the corner where the man in the red jacket stands like a sentinel. He sees you coming from a block away. He knows your name. He knows your number. He has the ink ready in a small glass vial. You walk into the frame of the camera, and it zooms in on your hollow, empty eyes until the screen is nothing but darkness. This is the end of your story, Subject 402, and the beginning of someone else's nightmare. The archive is always hungry, and its appetite is infinite. It's already looking for Subject 403. Maybe it's someone you know. Maybe it's the person sitting next to you right now. Don't look away. Don't close your eyes, because in the archive, the shadows are always watching, and they never ever forget a face, no matter how much you want them to. The streetlights begin to flicker again in that same rhythmic pulse, a countdown to the end of the reel. You realize that the 25 minutes are almost up. The credits are about to roll, but there are no names on them. No actors, no directors, no one to take the blame. Only numbers, only subjects. You see your daughter's face one last time in the static, but it's distorted now. A sketch that's been rubbed out and drawn over 100 times until she's unrecognizable. You try to call out her name, to say you're sorry, but all that comes out of your mouth is a puff of cold, gray smoke. The ink has reached your throat now. It's filling your mouth, thick and bitter. It tastes like the copper of your own blood and the bitterness of the blue pills. It tastes like home. The final frame is a wide cinematic shot of the street at twilight. You are just a small, dark shape leaning against a cold brick wall, barely visible in the shadows. The city is huge, towering, and indifferent, and you are tiny, insignificant, and alone. The clouds above are heavy and bloated with the promise of a rain that will never be enough to wash the grime away. The screen starts to fade to black, slowly, painfully. But just as the darkness is about to take everything, the trembling starts again. Just for a fraction of a second, in your right hand. A final vibration. A final glitch in the system. A final sign of life. And then, absolute crushing silence. The archive is closed for the night. The lights are out. Just like sits up, but singing. My monster point all it out from. We'll see you in the next frame. We'll see you in the archive.